Undead Labs may have just released their best update ever. In addressing three main areas of the game around save slots, legacy pool engagement, and forever communities, Undead Labs have delivered an elegant, deep and complete solution to what the community has been crying out for so long. Let's get into it. Undead Labs have announced that they are bringing 2 more save slots, bringing the total number of save slots to 5. Now this makes a lot of sense, because originally there were 3 save slots yet 5 maps, so you really had to pick and choose where you wanted your communities to roam. Now you can have 1 community per map if you wanted. But we just got 66% more game. How awesome is that? The Legacy Pool UI has had a major overhaul. It is still in development, so what you're seeing on screen now is not the final product, and there are going to be a lot more improvements and polish applied to this before it releases to the public. It's important to know though that this is the new UI interface for the Legacy Pool. All the ways you would normally interact with your Legacy Pool, either within the game itself or from the game menu, will be replaced by this update. And guys, the improvements that they've made in this area are huge. Let's go through the main features. The Legacy Pool will now allow different sorting and filtering options to make finding the survivor you are looking for much easier. Being able to filter and search on such things as community skills, leader types, and even your favorites, which you can tag so that you can find them easily. There is also a detail screen where you can see the traits, skills, and the inventory for each of your Legacy Pool characters. This provides the player a complete view of their Legacy Pool characters, so you know exactly who you are bringing into your game and what they are bringing with them. And like I just said before about this being the new UI for your Legacy Pool community, when you start a new community, the game will use the Legacy Pool UI with the sorting and filters, meaning that you won't need to cycle endlessly to find the survivor that you want and not even know what their inventory is. This user interface replaces all of that, so it gives 100% transparency and control back to the player. Fantastic. A major feature is the ability to access your Legacy survivors within the game, and you do this via a radio call. Using the radio call will cost influence and have a cooldown timer associated with it. They have not yet decided exactly how much influence it will cost, or how long that cooldown will be, or how it will be applied through the different difficulty levels. But there will certainly be some cost so that you can't just spam in your Legacy Pool survivors. When you use the radio call, you go straight into the Legacy Pool UI and you are able to select the survivor you wish to bring into the game. They will appear inside your base and they are made available immediately. This radio call can be used to bring in Legacy survivors up to a maximum of 9 community members in line with the maximum cap for a community. So if you have the influence, at any point during your playthrough, you will be able to access this radio call and bring in a selected member from the Legacy Pool where you can see their traits, skills and inventory to make that selection, to make that choice, and have them appear immediately within your community. This solution is fantastic. Additionally, you can put any existing community members into the Legacy Pool directly from the community screen. They will appear in your Legacy Pool and they can be drawn back out of the Legacy Pool later, either with the community you are using or even a different community on another map. This starts to lift the lid on the possibility of managing several communities across several maps simultaneously by being able to transfer survivors or equipment between maps, between communities, supporting and helping each other. Undead Labs have been signaling now for some time that they intended to deliver a better end-game experience for those players with forever communities. And it's arrived! And surprise, surprise, it's a move to new map button, available after a legacy is completed. What this means is you can still complete the legacies, get the boons, apply the boons in the next map as these community members move on. And because you move through the Legacy Pool UI, you can also select and deselect people from that community or swap them out with other characters in your Legacy Pool. So again, this places all the control back in the hands of the player and gives great player agency to those forever communities. And in an exquisite touch, there is a new map UI that provides a top-down view of the map. It also tells you how many communities you have on the map and how many times you've visited. A major change also is that you get the option to choose the base you want to move into. There are claiming requirements involving influence and population in order to claim those bases. And if you've never been to that base before, there is an additional cost component. It's around 50% on standard and 200% on lethal. was if you choose to move to a random map, you do not move to a base. Your community will appear at the random rally point for whichever map you're moving to. Undead Labs will be also improving on the inventory management system, particularly around sorting, allowing players to sort their inventory by category, type, damage, name, value, recently added, so recently deposited in your supply locker, and caliber of firearm. You will also be able to salvage anything in your supply locker into parts, and that includes consumables, except mission critical items. It's not particularly efficient, you don't get a lot of parts for it, but you can clear out a lot of junk and get at least a little bit for it. This is really good for forever communities who have a challenge dealing with ever expanding and ever growing inventories. They are also bringing stacking into the inventory system around facility mods and gun mods, things like suppressors, things like water coolers, those sorts of things. They will instead stack. Geoffrey also announced that he is moving off State of Decay 2 to become systems lead at State of Decay 3. Now what this means for State of Decay 2 fans is nothing changes. There is still a great team at State of Decay 2 which is at pains to point out, who will continue developing and building on the updates and the features that they have delivered so far and on into the future. That will not stop. What it does mean is that Geoffrey will take up a systems lead role at State of Decay 3, which is fantastic for State of Decay 3 and for us, the community. And this is why. Geoffrey has been part of the State of Decay franchise since the very beginning. In fact, delivering State of Decay 1 Breakdown was basically his first contribution, I believe, to the entire franchise. And he's worked right through up until this point. So if anyone holds the IP, the canon, the spirit of the game, it's Geoffrey. But I am really happy for both Geoffrey. I hope he gets very rich, and I hope he delivers an awesome State of Decay 3 game for us. Thanks, Geoffrey. But folks, let me know in the comments what you think. How long have you been waiting for more save slots, or to be able to complete a legacy and move to a new map? What other features and game mechanics would be awesome to introduce on the back of these updates? If you liked this video or found it informative and entertaining, then please hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. I'd also invite you to check out these two videos I've got right here. One is a review and an assessment of the new infestation mechanics, and the other is about State of Decay 3 and where I think the game needs to go. So Geoffrey, if you're watching, please check out this video and do all the things that I mentioned. Alright, that's all I got for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Ka kite. Bye for now.